What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about what's happening with Tesla in the overall market. I was trying to record this video earlier, but I was having some issues, a lot of technical difficulties, which is why I'm very delayed. I am sorry about that, but if anything, I'm just going to continue to do what I do best. So just know that as far as the market's going, whenever I say anything, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget about my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15. Anyways, Tesla pumped very, very nicely to this 355 resistance. I would have liked to see Tesla hold above 355 to turn more bullish to hit this next target of 362.5. But right now, the market has it kind of pumped a bit only to come back down, so it's range bound. And Tesla, it's trying to see if it could hold 350. So we did a great job. We got a very very nice explosive move to 356, but then we came back down. We're going to be watching to see if 352.5 holds us. Otherwise, we're looking for 350 as our next support below that. So I'll be watching that very closely. Just know the PMI data report came out. Everything was very close to expectations in terms of how these numbers are looking. Then we had the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Reports that also came out. Everything was very close as well. Manufacturing numbers were a little bit weaker, whereas services numbers were quite strong for the PMI, by the way, and that's why we still held up well. So as far as Tesla goes, we'll have to see if 352.5 holds. If it does not hold, we're looking for 350 as our main support, followed by 348. And then if that fails us, we could be on our way back down to about 340. For resistance, if we break the high of the day, we're looking for 362 as our potential target. As of right now, I think Tesla is very choppy up here because it's hitting new territory. So if you look at the 5 minute time frame, we pumped very nicely to 355. We could be retesting 355. We'll see if we bounce off that or not. So just keep that in mind. There is a risk of it kind of coming down a bit before we see some buyers try to defend it again. But I think that Tesla's doing a great job. If we could close above 350, that's going to be big. And we could see even more explosive price action going into next week if we manage to get that close. So we'll see if 350 holds. Otherwise, Tesla's doing a very, very good job this far. Looking at the 30 minutes time frame, once again, I still think we're range bound. Look at SPY, guys. So I was warning everyone that we might see some choppy price action because of the fact that it's a Friday. We're not really that choppy. It's more like we're more range bound after all. So the data came out. We saw this big pump on SPY. SPY went from 593 to about 596. Then we came back down to 593, and we're just going back and forth in this range. We're remaining range bound for now, so it's not really doing a whole lot. If we lose 593.64, we're looking for 592.5, followed by 591, which is where our 200 EMA happens to be. And we have resistance at 596 going back and forth, stuck in the middle, at least for the time being. So that's what I'm seeing for SPY. We're just stuck in between these levels, going back and forth and back and forth. We'll give this more time to develop, but that's what I'm seeing at least thus far. For ES, it's the same thing. It's just trading sideways between 6,000 and about 5,960, going back and forth and back and forth. It's going to likely continue to do that. We could be dipping closer to 5,960s before we see another big move up, so keep those levels in mind. For Nvda, we're dipping right now. We'll have to see if we could hold our supports. Can we get back above 144 or not? I think there's a risk of it getting closer to about 141.25, so keep that level in mind. Might be a bit of a dip on Nvidia before we see anything else. So just know that, guys. That's what I'm seeing at least thus far. For other factors out there, we also happen to have Bitcoin. This pumped very, very, very nicely to about this 99,000 area. I think there's a good chance we try to continue that push. So look for a little bit of a push on Bitcoin to about 99,000, see if it breaks. Otherwise, we're range bound between 99,500 and 97,500 as well. For other factors out there, we also happen to have NQ. This is range bound between 20,800 and about 20,700 flats. We're going back and forth as well, just waiting for this to pan out. We remain more choppy as it's a Friday, so it's not really a big surprise. The QQQ are range bound between 506 and 503 ish, or 502.5, going back and forth pretty much all day so far. If we lose 502.5, we're looking for 500 as our target on the QQQ. If we break past 506, we're looking for the gap fill for 508. I think we're just going to be range bound for the majority of the day because it's a Friday and it's not a surprise if you look at the options chain. It's a very balanced options chain today, so we'll see how that goes. Apple may end up retesting 228, then trying to bounce as we trade sideways. So that's most likely what we're going to be seeing. For other factors out there, we have the IWM Russell 2000 looking bullish on the 30 minutes time frame because we had this inverse head and shoulders. We called this out to a T. I did mention to everyone that I'm expecting some upside for the IWM, and that played out very, very nicely. So very, very good sign by the Russell. Very, very nice move on the 4-hour time frame. For other factors out there, we have coin. I called out to 288 on coin. I said if that holds, look for a bounce. If not, we're going to turn more bearish. We held 288, and then I called out 307 as our target if that were to hold. We came very close to that, and I think there's potential for us to try to get back up to 307 as we try to push with coin or with Bitcoin, excuse me. So we're doing a good job. Amazon, this is dipping a little bit. We're going to be watching to see if we hold support. We touched 200 only to reject, so we're looking for essentially 194 as our target. Meta, rejected as well off 564, so we're looking for a dip back down towards 550. Microsoft pumped only to dip back down to about 410, which I think is where it's going. And then Google could be dipping back down to 165. So keep those levels in mind, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Tesla's doing a very, very good job at holding up. We'll have to see if 350 holds. So make sure you watch your levels very, very closely. Let's see if this 350 support ends up holding Tesla up. I think it's been doing a good job. We were expecting a big move, as I mentioned in my previous videos. We're expecting a very, very big move, and that's what's come so far. So we have the potential to get all the way up to 562.5 or higher if we close above 350 for today. That's the first step we want to be seeing. And if we hold it next week, I do anticipate we're going to be pushing more. So Tesla looks very, very strong, very, very bullish. So make sure you watch your levels very, very closely. With that being said, I thank you all for listening. Please have a great day and peace out.